Every single time we hear about a big business being hacked, we are told there will be new measures and more money spent to ensure it never happens again. And then, of course, it does happen again. So when it comes to your money, is there any reason to believe cybersecurity will reach the point in your lifetime where that cash will actually be safe from the hackers? This and a whole lot more, including some current news, as we welcome to MidPoint the chairman and founder of Identity Theft 911, Adam Levin, joins us on the show. Adam, good to see you again.
Nice to see you, Ed.
Adam, it turns out that here we are speaking about cybersecurity, and this day, apparently, either ISIS or a group connected with ISIS has reportedly hacked the Central Command Twitter feed. They've put up their own version of what they say is an homage, if you will, to the United States, basically more threatening messages. Also, maybe even got the YouTube account, and maybe even got through to some personal information from the military. It comes up at a perfect time because we talk about the tremendous amount of money that is being spent out there to stop this, and we can't stop it no matter where we go with this. How does it all stop?
Well, the only way we're going to get some kind of solution to this is a national collaborative effort, international collaborative effort, but certainly in this country, getting it on the front burner. And I guess the irony in all of this today, or it was designed to be ironic, was the ISIS hack. At the time, the president was presenting at the Federal Trade Commission his program on how to move forward in the fight against the threat that we have, both in terms of identity theft. He's going to be talking tomorrow, I believe, to the Central Command at Homeland Security about, or the Cyber Command, about the plans that he has for cybersecurity. So the issue is finally getting to the front burner. What's so frustrating is, for instance, the Privacy Bill of Rights is something that was unveiled back in 2012. And finally, we're getting, in a State of the Union address, a request for Congress to codify this. So, I mean, it is reaching panic proportions here. You've had Target, you've had Home Depot, you've had Sony, which was a near extinction level hack. And I think it's finally getting through to people, both in government and business, and also consumers are terrified about this, is that we have a real problem. It's an international problem, and that something really has to be done about it now.
Why, in the name of guys still living in their parents' basements playing video games, are we still this naive 2, 3 years later, Adam? Are we this stupid?
Well, I think the problem is that there are many sophisticated people on all sides of the equation here, and law enforcement will admit that the bad guys are years ahead of the good guys, because every time we figure out a solution to one of the problems, they figure out a workaround. And this is going to be an arms race. This is going to be the cyber war has replaced the Cold War in our lives, and this is going to be a problem that we're going to have to continually face, and we're going to have to dedicate the resources and the funding and the national focus to try to solve this problem. Think about it. We just barely got a package of small cybersecurity bills through Congress at the end of the last Congress. They're now trying to introduce a much larger, much more serious cyber package in the new Congress. We still don't have a national breach notification law. We still have credit scores that you have to pay for. We have big data running wild, and we have a lot of people that are more than happy to take advantage of that kind of available data.
All right, now, we paid $59 billion in this country for data protection since fiscal 2010. The across-the-board funding cuts last year hit cyber budgets, but the total tab is still $10.3 billion. So with all this money being spent, Adam, whose fault is this? Is this an arrogant president, arrogant lawmakers? Who are the ones who are stopping us from moving forward and actually taking a lead in the cyber war?
Oh, I think it's a problem that impacts everybody. Consumers haven't taken this as seriously as they should. Many businesses have not taken this as seriously as they should. Legislators certainly haven't taken this as seriously as they should. And the executive has been trying to push this through, and there's been several presidents that have tried to get the lawmakers to act on this. And for one reason or another, for one special interest or another, we always seem to back away at the moment of truth, and I think we can no longer afford to back away. These hacks are a third, now dead certainty in life. And the only way we're going to get through this is more funding to try to better prevent these issues, though I don't think they're preventable, to monitor in a very sophisticated fashion than to have damage control programs that can move into effect immediately to mitigate the damage at all levels, government, business, consumer.
Adam, I'm going to ask you to extrapolate here for a little bit. The attack today on U.S. Central Command is a Twitter feed. Okay. YouTube feed. Okay. These are not the most secure feeds in the world. But as you said, the hackers are always against us now and always seeming to be a step ahead. Would you then have any doubt in your mind that they can get to these easy, but that right now, if there was a hacker group out there, if there was an ISIS out there who had really good people at computers, that they could, within maybe a couple of days, hack right into the U.S. government deeper? They could get down to our military records, and they could actually get down and change things at the core of what our computer and our cyber war, our cyber activities are.
Well, Ed, you got to remember that, you can't talk about ISIS as an isolated event, because there are hackers all over the world working for all sorts of different organizations.
Sure.
And they're very fluid. They move around. They can be retained by anyone. They are extremely sophisticated. They are top flight. They have the capability of hacking into almost anything. It's entirely possible that while they're doing this to us, we are certainly doing this to them, and many different foreign governments are doing it to each other. And the issue is, either we're going to try to find a way to work together globally to try to get a handle on this, or not. And if we don't work together globally, we're never going to get a handle on this, because the problem isn't something that just emanates here in the United States. It is a worldwide issue requiring worldwide cooperation. And the time to do this is now, because every day you move closer to what could be a cybergeddon, where power grids are brought down, electric grids are brought down, where there are the equivalent of denial of service attacks on an economy. I mean, these are the kinds of dangers. If you could wipe out an economy, if you have the right kind of targeted, persistent, sophisticated attack on economic institutions within that economy.
Unfortunately, most things don't get looked at until they actually happen to us. 9/11 certainly was an example of that as well. Boy, let's hope we can get past this sooner or later. Adam, we've managed to scare everybody, but hopefully we've given them some actual facts, and they'll think twice as we move forward in the cyber war and what you call the cybergeddon. Adam, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Ed.
All right, short time out. We return with what life